Hello everyone, this is Dr. Schilling coming from Secoya Health, bringing you today's Wednesday Wellness Minute. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between a laboratory range and a functional range. For those of you who have had blood work done or urinalysis done and received the results from a medical doctor, what we're looking at is the difference between a laboratory range, which is the data range which a medical doctor uses to determine whether you're sick or not, versus a functional range. And I'll give you a brief example. When you look at a bell-shaped curve, which is sort of an average, a laboratory range is usually pretty wide. And so what that does is it encompasses the breadth. If this is the average, this is the wide margin that they use to hold people underneath to determine whether you're sick or not. The difference between that and a functional range is much narrower. So you can see the general difference between the two. This encompasses a lot more sick people. This has many fewer people. So you're going to have more sick people show up on this model than on this model, which is to the benefit of the insurance companies. If you are under this model, there's nothing wrong with you. Your labs come back fine. You could be sick as a dog, and all of a sudden they tell you, oh, you're fine. Maybe you should seek a psychologist's help, and because it's all in your head. That's an example. Here's an example for you. We'll look at a thyroid lab. It's a pretty simple example. A lot of people have thyroid issues, so let's look at a difference between a laboratory range and a functional range. So laboratory range is going to be maybe like 2.36 to 5.2. Okay, so that's a laboratory range. And then with a functional range, you're looking at 1.8 to 3. Okay, so you see it's a much tighter band. And what this is looking at is you're going to have way more people fall as far as not having a problem in this range than this range. So another example of that would be you could have 4 to 12 here and 6 to 12 there. Okay, so this is going to be your TSH, the top number, and then this will be maybe your T4, which is one of your thyroid hormones. But you can see this is a much tighter band, so this is a much narrower range. We want people healthy under the narrow range, so we want to keep it narrower so more people, if they have problems, will actually show up and they can be justified. So understand that if you get lab work done, whether it be blood work, serum, blood test, or urinalysis, or whatever it might be, you want to make sure you understand the difference. So if you haven't understood this, we can provide functional ranges for you so you can compare your lab work with what your medical doctor is saying as far as a laboratory range. But this is very important to understand, because if you have symptoms and yet they're telling you, look, you're perfectly fine, that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a problem. Your sickness will be found in the functional range and not in a laboratory range. So that's just today's Wellness Minute, today's Wellness Wednesday Minute. We wanted to bring that to your attention so you can be more empowered when you're working with your medical provider, so that when you can say, I still have symptoms, why don't I feel better even though we're doing this intervention, you can say, okay, let's compare the functional versus laboratory ranges. Certainly share this with your family and friends. Give us a call if you want those laboratory ranges, whether it's urinalysis, thyroid, blood sugar, cholesterol, whatever it might be. We can provide that for you, or at the very least give you a link to go on the internet and find that information for yourself. Feel free to share this with your friends and family so you can help empower them to know more about their health, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.